Authorities have dismissed the vague and viral TikTok trend, warning of nationwide school violence today. They say it's not credible, and local schools say the same thing. Columbia County did, however, have a threat today. Even so, it's prompted widespread school closures, stretched law enforcement resources, and put families on edge. Our Sloan O'Cone is live in studio with how local schools are responding. Well, this is one of the many emails our schools are sending out. This one is from Baker Place Elementary. Columbia County says safety of students and staff are their top priority, and so they partnered with local law enforcement out of an abundance of caution. And after that threat this morning, it extended that police presence until students were dismissed from school. And we reached out to Richmond and Aiken County, who said the same thing. Expect a higher law enforcement presence in schools today. The district emphasizes there were no direct threats to any specific school, but I spoke to Hunter Pollock, whose sister was shot and killed in the Parkland school shooting. He says threats like these have a devastating impact on our communities.
There is no coming back. It's a loss so monumental that life will never be the same. And I wish I could tell my story to students that are making these threats that if you decide to carry out this act, you will not only ruin your life, but you will ruin the lives of a community.
And here's a series of tweets from TikTok today where they're explaining that they've seen nothing credible and any alarmist warning videos were removed. Coming up tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'm working on a story talking to one of our biggest districts about the efforts they're taking to try and help mitigate these threats. Thanks so much, Sloan, for that update for us. Taking you outside now, and Anthony, today's just been a gloomy day. When are the clouds going to go away?
We're going to be watching the chance for a little bit of sunshine as we go through tomorrow afternoon. But for now, Zaina, we are stuck in the clouds. Let's take a look back outside over the visible satellite where right now we're seeing all of that cloud cover stretched across Georgia and South Carolina. So we're not alone here in the CS. We're lots of cloud cover to go around, both in Georgia, South Carolina, and in the southeast. Now, as we go through the rest of tonight, we will see those temperatures, which did make it into the upper 60s despite some of that cloud cover, eventually fall back into the 50s, upper 50s by tomorrow morning. Overlooking Grovetown and I-20, plenty of cloud cover there right now, and we are seeing our temperatures right around 66 degrees, so they're slowly but surely starting to fall out of the upper 60s, mid-60s right now. Those are going to continue to fall as we go through this evening. Hour by hour through the rest of tonight, we will watch those temperatures sticking to the upper 50s, lower 60s, and even seeing some of that patchy fog starting to develop as we get closer to about 8, 9 o'clock, and then even some dense fog will be possible after we get past about midnight. Currently, as far as that visibility goes, we are pretty much clear across the region. Some hazier conditions between Augusta and Louisville, but that will we'll notice more of that foggy conditions as we get closer to about 9, 10 o'clock. Now, for the day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine as we get through the afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds, warming up to the upper 70s, and then this line of storms will be possible as we get closer to about dinner time, and then starting to move out as we get closer through about 9:30, 10 o'clock into the evening, and then seeing a few scattered showers left over as we go through early Sunday morning. So not a total washout for the weekend. We'll have much more on the weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Zaina.
Thanks, Anthony. A former Minneapolis police officer took the stand today in her manslaughter trial for the shooting of a young black man. Kim Potter says she meant to pull her taser on Dante Wright, but accidentally fired her gun. Jennifer Merrill was there as the case went to the jury.
It just went chaotic.
Kim Potter took the stand in her own defense and sobbed as she described the moment she fired the fatal shot at 20-year-old Dante Wright.
I remember yelling, "Taser, taser, taser," and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
The former Brooklyn Center police officer is charged with manslaughter in Wright's death last April. She says she meant to fire her taser, but mistakenly grabbed her gun after seeing the look on her fellow officer's face as he struggled with Wright during a traffic stop.
He had a look of fear on his face. It's nothing I've seen before.
Police pulled Wright over for expired license plate tags and an air freshener hanging from his rearview mirror, which is illegal in Minnesota. They discovered he had an outstanding warrant. Video from Officer Potter's body cam shows police attempting to arrest Wright. Before he gets back in his car, Potter then pulls out her gun and shouts taser, before shooting Wright in the chest.
I shot him! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Under cross-examination, Potter agreed that she did not see a weapon on Wright.
Never saw a gun. No.
She broke down while watching video of the scene, and the judge called a recess. Before Potter took the stand, a defense witness testified that an officer under high stress is more likely to make a mistake and confuse a gun for a taser. Jennifer Merrily, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Potter resigned from the police force days after the shooting. She testified she didn't want anything bad to happen to her coworkers. The family of a Screven County man killed by a Georgia State trooper is calling for the Georgia Department of Public Safety to release dashcam video showing what happened. The widow of Julian Lewis and attorneys speaking today at the Georgia Capitol to demand action from the state. Investigators say Trooper Jacob Thompson shot Lewis during an attempted traffic stop on a dirt road in Sylvania last year. Thompson was fired and faced murder charges, but a Screven County grand jury decided not to charge him. His family still calling for justice.
It's been 16 months, and I have not seen any justice for my husband. None. I'm still devastated by the loss of my husband. He was a good man, and he did not deserve to die the way that he did.
This September, the FBI announced they're looking into the case along with the U.S. Attorney's Office. These pictures almost look like a flashback to the beginning of the pandemic, but no, this was the scene yesterday at a COVID testing site in Miami. What's normally a 15-minute wait was backed up over an hour. Between the Delta and Omicron variants, COVID cases are up 36% in the last 2 weeks. The Delta and Omicron variants are now in all but about a dozen states. Experts call this a double threat. In New York City, some restaurants have closed and the Rockettes and Broadway have been canceled there too. The NBA has also agreed to new COVID protocol because of recent outbreaks. As cases tick up, the CDC director expects the Omicron variant to become the dominant strand in the U.S. in the next few weeks.
We've seen cases of Omicron among those who are both vaccinated and boosted, and we believe these cases are milder or asymptomatic because of vaccine protection.
As for the CDC panel's recommendation that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are preferred over Johnson & Johnson because of rare blood clotting, she says any vaccination is better than none. As many as 15,000 students across South Carolina, including right here in our area, could go to a technical college for free. Yes, we did say free. It's part of a new program called Workforce Scholarships for the Future. Governor Henry McMaster announced it last month. The program includes Aiken Tech and is aimed at getting more people into high-demand jobs and help the state labor shortage. Leaders and students call it a game changer.
It definitely made me feel seen. It kind of gives us, the students, the reassurance that our college wants us to succeed and that it's such a great feeling for us, and we feel supported by the college for this opportunity.
One school says instead of being weighed down by the steep cost of college students and families, are free to pursue what matters most, working and providing for their families and going to school at the same time. If you're interested, call Aiken Tech. And we're just 2 weeks away from the Orange Bowl between Georgia and Michigan.
For attractive offers on the TLX.
Local shelters in crisis mode this holiday season, packed full of pups looking for homes. Our Wrdw highlights the need as well as what you can do to help.
The shelter is full, and these dogs want out.
In all honesty, it's absolutely heartbreaking at the shelter right now. I've never seen a December this sad.
Kathy Jacobs volunteers at the Aiken County Animal Shelter. She says this time of year is never this bad.
We have every kennel full, so we're really in need of the community to understand the need for these dogs to find homes.
For now, this is home, and they don't leave often.
Come on, baby.
Except for times like this, when people like Jacobs take them for a walk.
You want to try to get them as much exercise as we can, because they really need that. It's a long day to be in a kennel.
Behind those cages, you may see some sad faces, but when they come out, it's a different story.
Thank you.
That's part of the reason why they're about to hold an event outside where all adoptions are free.
Oh, don't jump on him. If we're going to save the lives of them, we have to have the support of our community. Good boy.
In a time of year when people give so much, Jacobs hopes you can give one of them a home in Aiken.
You're a good boy.
Wrdw, on your side.
You're good.
man's best friend right there for sure, and Christmas is just around the corner, so it's a perfect time to get a pet, right? The Clear the Shelter event runs from 10 to 1 tomorrow at the Aiken County Animal Shelter. Again, all adoptions are free. Taking you outside right now on what's a pretty nice day. I mean, Anthony, we've been talking about that cloud cover, but as far as the temperature, I mean, it's not cool. It feels just about right.
Yeah, no, and we're actually a little bit warmer than where we should have been for this time of year for the middle of December. We did make it to the upper 60s this afternoon to about 68 degrees. We still have plenty of cloud cover left, and that's not going to be changing anytime soon. The current look over Grovetown and I-20. Lots of folks traveling out there right now. We're seeing our temperatures right around 66 degrees, and we'll notice those slowly but surely starting to fall into the low 60s and potentially the upper 50s by tomorrow morning. Lower 60s to be found in places like Edgefield. You're at 62, and we've now gotten rid of the 70s across the CSRA. Upper 60s, mid 60s for a good majority of us, and that's going to be starting to decrease as we go through the next couple of hours. We're also going to notice the chance for some fog to develop as we get closer to about 8, 9 o'clock, and that's going to last as we go through tonight all the way through about 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. We do have that possibility for some patchy dense fog, especially as we get closer to about midnight, down to about 0 or half a mile in some locations tonight. So if you're doing any traveling on the roadways, just make sure you keep the low beams on. Never use the high beams as you travel through fog. By tomorrow morning, any outdoor plans, again, if you're heading out the door early, just make sure you're not using those high beams. Our temperature is going to be starting off into the upper 50s, lower 60s, then warming into the mid 60s as we get closer to about 10 o'clock in the morning. Do have that chance for some sunshine tomorrow afternoon. That means some warmer temperatures. Those that see a little bit more sunshine do have a shot at 80 degrees. This is going to be found especially in our southern and southeastern counties. We will see temperatures here in Augusta still warm though, right around 77 degrees. But we're going to be talking about some rain. That's going to move through as we go through the overnight hours, pretty much around dinner time, lasting through about early Sunday morning. Warm front right into the Kentucky area. This is going to be having more rainfall, even some mixing just to the south of Chicago, and we're going to be seeing more rainfall for them. And eventually, a cold front will move through our area. That's going to give us the chance for some scattered showers, maybe even a little rumble of thunder as we go through portions of tomorrow evening. Some of our western counties getting in on the chance for showers first. This is going to be just after lunchtime, lasting through about dinner time for us here in Augusta. And as we get closer to about 9 o'clock, there you can see those darker shades of red. That will be that chance for some heavier showers, and maybe even again that chance for a rumble of thunder and a few lingering showers as we go through midday on Sunday. Now, luckily, this isn't going to be severe. The marginal risk for severe weather still primarily along the Gulf Coast, so we shouldn't see any of those severe warnings, but definitely have that chance for a rumble of thunder. As far as how much rainfall we could see, anywhere from about 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch across the CSRA. The higher totals as of now still look to be in some of our central and northern counties as that front starts to fizzle out as it gets to some of our southeastern counties. We all need the rain for sure. Abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions stretch across the region, so we'll take all the rain that we can get. We'll have another chance of rain as we go through the day on Tuesday as well. As we go through this weekend, again, the chance for those showers really going to be into the overnight hours. Shouldn't ruin your outdoor plans tomorrow afternoon, and then most of your Sunday does look to be on the drier side as well, just cloudy and a little bit cooler. Really cool temperatures as we go through Monday and Tuesday. Highs only getting into the upper lower 50s, 51 to about 52 degrees. Going to be a raw afternoon on Tuesday.
A few long and devastating days across the Midwest. We're tracking serious storms and how people there are coping.
The live by 2661.
At least 5 people have been killed in severe weather that rolled across the Midwest this week. That comes just days after a series of tornadoes killed scores of people in 5 states. In Kentucky, residents picked through the wreckage of a monster tornado. It was a mile or more wide at its worst, according to the National Weather Service, and was on the ground for at least 128 miles. But the wild and deadly weather extended across the Midwest. In Colorado, a dust bowl rode through, and in Kansas and Iowa, dangerous winds caused multiple semi-trucks to flip. Nearly 20 tornadoes touched down on Wednesday in Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska. Donations are pouring in for the Kentucky tornado victims, and check it out. KMO, which is a cleaning supply company here in Augusta, they're partnering with the Augusta Rotary Club to host this donation drive. All week long, they've been accepting all kinds of items from clothes to non-perishable food. They've collected at least 8 truckloads so far.
Wonderful, the amount of donations that we've received and the amount of people that have stepped up that want to really be involved and help out with the effort. We haven't turned anything away because I think they pretty much need anything they can get their hands on.
They just finished collecting donations at this 4:30 this afternoon. They leave Monday morning to take the first 2 trucks to Kentucky, but certainly nice a lot of people stepped up to help those affected. And as a number of shopping days before very cool items. I have never heard of any of those. The post office recommends everything should be shipped by December 20th to arrive in time for Christmas. So, Anthony, if you got to get something, you have to get it now.
Got to get it now. You have only a couple days left if you want it there on time. Well, we're going to be talking about some rainfall as we go through tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. Could see some heavier showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder. But one more look at the forecast when we get back. Canty can fix your sink. Well, as you're heading out the door this evening, still going to watch that chance for some patchy, dense fog, especially as we get closer to about 9 o'clock tonight. As we get closer to midnight, we'll see that start to increase a little bit more. So dense fog, and with that will likely be coming some dense fog advisories from the National Weather Service through across most of the CS array. But by tomorrow morning, the fog will be breaking apart, and we're going to get a shot at some sunshine as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Before the morning, still a little bit foggy out there. Temperatures warming into the mid to upper 60s by about 10 o'clock. Still a little bit of cloud cover there as well. And as we head toward the afternoon, this is where we do have that chance for a few of those scattered showers to begin. First in our western counties, then starting to slide eastward as we get closer to about dinner time. They're knocking on our doorstep here in Augusta and talking about some heavier showers, maybe even a rumble of thunder by about 7, 8 o'clock, lasting through about midnight, and then seeing some of those lingering showers as the front continues to pass us on by. And then we're going to be seeing some drier conditions through the day on Sunday, but wedge conditions, so that means some cooler temperatures for our northern counties and warmer as you go closer to the coastline. So over the next 7 days, going to be watching the chance for some of those showers and storms on Saturday night, but fortunately not looking to be on the severe side. Some cooler temperatures by Monday, cloudy and cool there, 52. And as we head toward Tuesday, another round of rain will be possible. Highs there again, only getting into the lower 50s, right around 51 degrees.
Thanks so much, Anthony, and thank you all for joining us for First at 5. News 12 at 6 o'clock is about to start. Stick with us.
Tracking, forecasting, always first alert weather on your side.
From our family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
The holiday hustle and bustle is here. It is Super Saturday Eve, and we're going to take you live to Surrey Center as shoppers get ready to kick off a busy weekend for local businesses. Plus, President Biden right down the road in Orangeburg today. Here is his message to graduates at South Carolina State University. And we're tracking the chance for rain this weekend that may rain on your holiday shopping plans. We're going to check in with First Alert meteorologist Riley Hale in just 3 minutes. But first, while the kids are at home, hopefully kicking off winter break, our local school districts and law enforcement are working to make sure they are safe when they head back from break. Today, Richmond and Columbia counties say they had officers on every single school campus in response to a viral threat going around TikTok. You can see a patrol car sitting right outside of Laney High School. And while the districts say the TikTok threat does not specify schools, counties, even states, they still wanted extra patrols just to be safe. News 12 Sloan O'Cone live in the studio with how TikTok is responding and what parents can do to help.
Well, here is a series of tweets today sent out by TikTok. They say they searched their entire app and found no content promoting violence in schools. A lot of these threats recently have come through social media, and I spoke to experts who say now it's up to you as parents to pay attention to what your kids do with this.
See what they're looking at, see what they're getting into, and having those conversations about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
Students have access to more information. Aiken County says students aren't ready for it all, and it shows at school.
The pandemic has definitely changed our students. The students from March 2020 are very different from the students we see now in 2021.
More anxiety, stress, and uncertainty. Aiken County wants to add to its 72 counselors to help children's mental health because these threats impact all of us.
There is no coming back. It's a loss so monumental that life will never be the same. And I wish I could tell my story to students that are making these threats that if you decide to carry out this act, you will not only ruin your life, but you will ruin the lives of a community.
Hunter Pollock lost his sister in the Parkland school shooting.
My sister Meadow being killed inside of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas is something I wouldn't wish upon any other family.
He says they didn't know the warning signs.
To parents, that they're proactive, that they know what's going on in their child's school, because if they know what's going on, then they will feel much better and they'll know that when they send their kid to school, they're safe.
And we reached out to Aiken, Richmond, and Columbia County to see if they're planning to add any extra security after the holiday break. We will let you know when we hear back.
We have more news ahead, but we want to take a look outside first. All right, thanks, Riley. Tonight, 3 out of the 4 Richmond County deputies
Train moves out in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. Tonight, 3 out of the 4 Richmond County deputies accused of smuggling contraband are out of jail on bond. These 4 ex-officers all charged with violating their oath, accused of giving phones, drugs, even shanks to inmates, and in some cases, accused murderers at the Charles B. Webster Detention Center. The only one still sitting behind bars tonight is Jaquan German. He is the 3rd from the left in this lineup you're looking at on your screen. He faces an additional charge of unlawful street gang activity. It's the final countdown the weekend before Christmas, switching gears here pretty dramatically. And you know people will be out and about this weekend getting those 11th hour gifts. These are some shoppers we saw today over at the Swank Company over in Martinez. And we have News 12's Maria Seller. She is live now from Swank Co. at its Surrey Center location. And it has been a busy weekend getting ready to gear up here as all those procrastinators head out and try to find the perfect gift. Maria.
Yes, I am here at the Swank Company, and we are seeing a lot of cars in the parking lot here at Surrey Center. It is the night before Super Saturday, and everybody's getting ready to gear up. I spoke to the owner here at Swank today, and she said that their business was mostly online last year, and while they are still filling orders online, they are seeing an increase of people coming into the store as well, and they are taking steps to make sure they are prepared tomorrow, such as being stocked and fully organized and having a full staff to prepare for the crowds.
And it is the busiest shopping day of the year, even busier than Black Friday. So we are expecting it to be very busy. We're excited about it. We think it's a fun day, and we try our best to keep everything as efficient and going the best we can.
And after more than a year of closed stores and COVID restrictions, this busy shopping day is much needed for community members and local businesses. And coming up tonight, we will have a more in-depth look at how businesses are preparing and what shoppers can expect tomorrow.
Okay, best of luck out there to all the procrastinators. We feel you, we understand you, we are with you. President Biden in the Palmetto State today, just up the road from us for the first time since winning the White House. He was in Orangeburg to speak at South Carolina State University's commencement. Our State House reporter Mary Green was inside that ceremony. She joins us live now from Orangeburg with more on what the president had to say. Well, Lauren, speaking for just over half an hour earlier here today, President Joe Biden touched upon voting rights, gun violence, police reform, jobs, and of course the $1 trillion-plus infrastructure bill that he recently signed into law. But the president also shared a message for these graduates specifically. Meet the moment.
You're part of the most gifted, tolerant, talented, and the single best educated generation in all of American history. You are. But with that comes a hell of an obligation.
That obligation, President Joe Biden told the 100-plus graduates at South Carolina State University, is to meet the moment. The president highlighted the ways he says his administration is helping them with that, including investing more money in HBCUs like South Carolina State, fighting for police reform, and pushing for voting rights legislation currently stalled on Capitol Hill.
I've never seen anything like the unrelenting assault on the right to vote. Never.
Biden also touted the bipartisan infrastructure law, a cornerstone of his White House agenda, which he says will create better jobs for millions of Americans.
It means more opportunities for black businessmen, black contractors, black engineers, building black communities back to where they have to be.
The president referenced the murders at Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, the violent white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, and the January 6th insurrection, and saying the country can defeat hate but not eliminate it.
And when given oxygen by political leaders, it comes out ugly and mean as it was before. We can't give it any oxygen. We have to step on it. We have to respond to it. It's not who we are.
The president closed by calling on these graduates to shine a light on that hate.
We face that inflection point that's going to change the course history, and I'm counting on you to meet the moment It's an enormous opportunity. An enormous opportunity.
And in a response to the president's visit today, the South Carolina GOP sent out a statement saying the president didn't mention inflation, border security, or the situation in Afghanistan, saying, quote, South Carolinians aren't buying what the Democrats are selling. Reporting live in Orangeburg, Mary Green on your side.
What a moment, though, for those students to be able to have a sitting president speak at their December commencement address. Mary, thanks for sharing that with us. Still ahead on News 12 at 6 o'clock, you could say these young anglers are hooked.
Yes.
Say yes to the COVID-19 vaccine.
Rain is never good for a wedding. Until now. If it rains 1 inch or more on your wedding day, Floyd & Green Fine Jewelers will give you your rings for free. So pray for rain and watch News 12 and NBC 26 this weekend for the weather happening near you.
When we say we're your First Alert weather team, that's our promise to you. First Alert means we're watching, tracking, forecasting, always. First Alert weather on your side.
It's a dangerous time of year for fires. In less than 2 weeks, we've seen them claim the lives of 5 people just in the river region alone. Tonight, Wrdw is on your side with some ways to prevent fires in your home and what to do in case of an emergency.
Looking at the aftermath of what was her brother's camper, his home, after a fire, is too much to take in for one family in Windsor.
Oh, it was very hurtful, especially, it happened to us.
Sierra Utter's brother, Sergio Villalobos, is one of 5 victims who had died in a local blaze.
I can't move past wanting my brother back. And I'm sure that the other families feel that way too.
Sergio's family say he grew up wanting to be a firefighter. He had smoke detectors and never used a space heater, things the fire department say will help reduce the risk of fires.
We don't know if every fire is preventable.
Taking steps that you learned when you were younger could save your life.
They're taught at a young age because they're possibly some of the most important fire safety lessons you can learn.
It's the simple rule of stop, drop, and roll. The department says having space heaters, electrical problems, or not paying attention while cooking are their top calls. Also, that annoying beeping thing on your ceiling, make sure to check that too.
Hopefully you are paying attention and today you'll go and you'll test your smoke alarm.
And always have an exit route. The quicker you get out, the safer you are.
Things can be replaced. Lives cannot.
In Augusta, Will Rio on your side.
Augusta Fire says so far this month, they've already gotten 17 fire calls. Last year, there was a total of 19 calls in December. Now, a call doesn't necessarily mean an actual fire, just calls called in that there was a fire reported, but they are on track to outpace last year. New development could be coming to North Augusta. These are some brand new pictures just into our newsroom of concept ideas for a 35-acre site called The Falls. Runs right along the Greenway. It would have room for new homes, apartments, and retail spaces. The developer says to think about it like Hammond's Ferry, just a lot smaller. The only problem is to access this new neighborhood, you would have to go through another. Here's News 12's Kennedy Harris with more on why neighbors in the Rapids aren't too happy about it.
More houses, more business, more people calling North Augusta home. It seems like a good thing, but
there's a couple issues.
These are the sounds off Martintown Road in North Augusta, just at the entrance of the Rapids. Car after car after car.
500 plus cars coming and going, morning and night. We always have issues with traffic trying to get out onto Martintown.
Rapids residents like Beck fear a new development called The Falls would only make it worse. The Falls development is a 35-acre mixed-use neighborhood. It'll feature 252 higher-end homes, duplexes, and luxury apartments, according to developers. Also a few local retail shops and a cafe.
This development talks about having some retail. Even though it may be small, that's still going to cause problems.
And the 2 entrances to the neighborhood is on River Bluff Road, which is also the entrance to the Rapids.
It is probably not the right answer to have those roads go into the Rapids just because of the current situation already.
Developers say the goal is to provide upscale living to enhance the area nearby. But Beck worries too much change might push some people out.
I can't speak to all of them, but I think based on just some comments, it could.
The plan was presented to the Planning Commission last night. Several neighbors from the Rapids spoke out against the plan, but Beck says soon he'll sit down with developers, try to see if they can come up with a solution that works for everyone.